So the Sixers played last night, and I have told you for a long time that I am not really looking at James Harden to do anything special. I'm not looking for him to force things. I'm not looking for him to force something the defense isn't giving him, especially if P.J. Tucker's rolling on, especially Bam Adebayo's coming up to D him up as well. I don't need him forcing it against those guys because a couple of bad things are going to happen. Well, one is you're going to miss your shot. Two is you're going to think you're going to get fouled and you're going to miss your shot. Or three, you're just not going to get any points in that possession. Let's fast forward. From the start of the game, Paul Reed not starting again, DeAndre Jordan starting, though he only played a total of 13 minutes in the game last night, as opposed to Paul Reed playing 25. But yeah, DeAndre Jordan's the starter, and that has really helped you out. Like it or not, that's not going to change, unfortunately, unless Joel Embiid is ready for Game 3, and we'll have our locker room report today, brought to you by Rothman Orthopaedics, coming up in just a minute. But let's fast forward to about 10 minutes left in the game. Sixers, thanks to Tyrese Maxey, go on a huge run in the game, and they start making some things happen for themselves. And I took note of this. I actually went back after the game and after the press conferences and watched all this again just to make sure I wasn't overreacting to one particular play. And I'll highlight that play with a little bit more emphasis when I get to it. But Sixers are down 92-84. So they're down 8 points here, 10 minutes left in the game. They go to Paul Reed in the post, who misses a layup. Not his best look, but he misses the layup. Dedmon was on the defense there. Very next possession, James Harden misses a jumper from the foul line. Actually did a good job of dribble drive, penetration, step back to the foul line, misses the little bunny jumper on the front end of the rim. Then the next possession. This is the one that I'm going to put some extra stake on, because as the Sixers aren't scoring here, neither are the Miami Heat in this 8-point game with now about 8:40 remaining in the game. And you don't have Joel Embiid. They got their roster with the exception of Kyle Lowry, and you're not racking up the points anymore. And this is the play that really stuck in my craw last night. This is the play where I said they're not winning. And before I even get into it even more, I didn't expect the Sixers to win either of these first two games. I was not betting on them to win either of these first two games in Miami. They would be lucky to win. They would have to play a perfect game to win any of these games. The reason they haven't won these games is mainly because Joel Embiid isn't playing. And even if Joel Embiid was healthy in these first two games, maybe they split. So let me just get that out of the way before you think I'm blaming for some people on Twitter. They think I'm blaming James Harden for this position the Sixers are in. I am not doing that. The Sixers can't throw the ball in the ocean over these first two games. So I'm not blaming just James Harden. But this is the play last night that really bothered me, because even though you don't have Joel Embiid, and even though you're not expecting Duck Rivers for the people in the chat, to be your coach next year, and even though you realize, as I have, that James Harden is not going to be the savior to the Joel Embiid-less 76ers, it's still frustrating when your coach won't start the better center in this case in terms of Paul Reed over DeAndre Jordan. And it's also frustrating when James Harden, there's no way he didn't realize, but it's frustrating when James Harden knows that he's got Tyrese Maxey at the top of the key with a mismatch with Bam Adebayo. In other words, he's going to blow by him with no problem whatsoever off the dribble. And James Harden decides instead, let me dribble for about an hour and a half in the corner with Victor Oladipo on me, and let me just force a step-back three that I clank off my side of the rim. That's not the play there, James Harden. That was the play that I looked at. I went, they ain't going to do it. Not.